Vallabha Girivanadari Yasodhana Braja Janaranjana Yasodhana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Anacharya Yamuna Tira Anacharya Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanadari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanadari Yasodhanana Braja Janaranjana Yasodhanana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Anacharya Yamuna Tira Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanadari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanadari Yasodhanana Braja Janaranjana Yasodhanana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Anacharya Yamuna Tira Anacharya Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishupad Paramhamsa Brahvidakshariya Asatara Sadushi Shiman His Divine Grace Shalasi Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaur Premanande Harival, glorious to the assembled devotees, all glorious to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Aganatvanandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chaksura Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shiguro Shiyuta Parakamalam Shigurum Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Vrajana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vasakans Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinabando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prashubhanu Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakapa Drubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patiranam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 89. Krishna and Arjuna retrieve a Brahmana's sons. Text 58. Dvidatmaja me yava yor didrik shuna Mayo Parnita Bhuvi Dharma Guplaye Kalavatir Nava Vavanir Barasuran Adveha Bayas Tavarayetam Antime Dvijatmaja me yuvayor didrikshuna Mayopanita bhuvi dharma guptaye Kalavatirna vavanir barasuran Adveha bhuyas tavara yetam antime. Wait, I'm sorry, we leave you some prasadam. I'll leave. Ladies, Dvija of the Brahmanas, Atmaja, the sons, me, my, Yuvayo, you two, Didrikshuna, who wanted to see, Maya, by me, Upanita, brought, Bhuvi, on the earth, Dharma, of the principles of religion, Guptaye, for the protection, Kala, as my expansions, Avatirnau, descended, Avane, of the earth, Bara, who are burdens, Asuran, the demons, Hatva, after killing, Iha, here, Bhuya, again, Tavaraya, quickly, Itam, come, Ante, to the proximity, May, my. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada's disciples. Lord Mahavishnu said, I brought the Brahmin sons here because I wanted to see the two of you, my expansions, who have descended to the earth to save the principles of religion. As soon as you finish killing the demons who burn the earth, quickly come back here to me. Purport. As explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, the secret import of these words spoken for Arjuna's edification is as follows. You two have descended along with your kalas, your personal energies, should kindly return to me after killing the demons who burn the earth. Please quickly send these demons here to me for the sake of their liberation. It is stated in the Hangsa Harivamsa and the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that the path of gradual liberation passes through the intermediate station of Mahavishnu's abode outside the eighth shell of the universe. Text 59. Although all your desires are completely fulfilled, O best of exalted personalities, for the benefit of people in general, you should continue to exemplify religious behavior as the sages Nara and Narayan. Thus instructed by the Supreme Lord of the topmost planet, Krishna and Arjuna ascended by chanting Om, and then they bowed down to Almighty Lord Mahavishnu. Taking the Brahmana's sons with them, they returned with great delight to Dwarka by the same path along which they had come. There they presented the Brahmana with his sons, who were in the same infant bodies in which they had been lost. Having seen the domain of Lord Vishnu, Arjuna was totally amazed. He concluded that whatever extraordinary power a person exhibits can only be a manifestation of Krishna's mercy. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti describes Arjuna's amazement. He thought, just see, even though I'm a mere mortal, by Krishna's mercy, I've seen the Supreme Godhead, the root of every cause of everything. Then after a moment, he thought again, but why did Lord Vishnu say that he took away the Brahmana's children out of a desire to see Krishna? Why would the Supreme Personality of Godhead hanker to see his own expansion? This might be the effect of some particular temporary circumstance. But since he said didrikshuna instead of didrikshata, where the specific suffix shuna carries a sense of a permanent characteristic, not a temporary one. it has to be concluded that he has always been wanting to see Krishna and myself. Even granted that this is so, why couldn't he simply see Krishna in Dwarka, at Dwarka? After all, Lord Mahavishnu is the all-pervading creator of the universe, which he holds like an amalaki fruit in his hand. Is it that he could not see Krishna in Dwarka because Krishna does not allow anyone to see him without his special sanction? And why also would Lord Mahavishnu, the compassionate master of all brahmanas, have repeatedly tormented an elevated brahmana year after year? He must have acted in this unusual way only because he could not give up his extreme eagerness to see Krishna. All right, he may have acted improperly for that reason, but why couldn't he send a servant to kidnap the brahmana's sons? Why did he himself have to come to Dwarka? Was he stealing them out of Lord Krishna's capital so difficult that no one but Vishnu himself could hope to accomplish it? I can understand that he intended to cause so much stress to a brahmana of Lord Krishna's city that Krishna would be unable to tolerate it. Then he would grant Lord Vishnu his audience. Lord Vishnu inspired the distressed brahmana to pour out his complaints to Krishna in person. Thus it is clear that Lord Shri Krishna's status of Godhead is superior to Lord Mahavishnu's. Having thought in this way, Arjuna was totally amazed. He asked Lord Krishna whether these were actually the facts of the matter. And the Lord replied, as related in the Harivamsa, Mad darshan nartam te bala, ritas tena mahatmana, vipartam yeshite krishno, matsamipam nachandita. It was to see me that he, the Supreme Soul, stole the children. He believed, only on a brahmana's behalf will Krishna come to see me, not otherwise. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur states that Lord Krishna further told Arjuna, I did not go there, however, for the brahmana's sake. I went there, my friend, just to save your life. If it had been for the brahmana's sake that I traveled to Vaikuntha, I would have done so after his first child was abducted. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, although this pastime occurred before the Battle of Kurukshetra, it is recounted here at the end of the 10th canto under the general heading of the supremacy of Lord Krishna's glories. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswatam Deve Gauravani Vacharane Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskatyade Sadharane. In the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada states that the Gita Upanishad is the essence of all the Vedic literature. That's more than 1 billion verses. And Prabhupada mentions that one American lady asked him to recommend an edition of the Bhagavad Gita in English. But Srila Prabhupada said that out of the 600 or 700 different translations of the Bhagavad Gita, he could not recommend even one of them because none of them touched on the spirit of the Bhagavad Gita. And then Prabhupada mentions that the spirit of the Bhagavad Gita is as follows, that if one wants to take a medicine, he should take the medicine according to the label on the bottle, not according to the expert physician, not according to a friend's recommendation. For instance, we don't go to a pharmacy and look at all the bottles on the shelf, look at our dhoti or our sari, and choose the one that's matching. Yes, someone said it might work, and it probably won't. So what is the spirit of the Bhagavad Gita? Prabhupada mentions that Sankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, and later on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Thakur Siddhanta Saraswati, they all proclaim that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And also in the Brahma Samhita, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna or Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna is declared as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada is giving a initiation in 1968 before he went back to India to recover from his stroke. And he was giving initiation rather liberally. So one man stood up and he said, "Swamiji, can I become your disciple?" And Prabhupada said, "Yes, but answer two questions. One is, who is Krishna?" So the man said, "He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead." Prabhupada said, "Very good. And who are you?" So the man said, "I am his servant." So Prabhupada said, "Yes, I can give you initiation." Easier back then to get initiation. As I mentioned, I got initiation, and Prabhupada was so liberal that I wrote him a letter, because at that time I had a choice. Either I could hitchhike to Montreal with when other devotees were going, but I wasn't really ready yet. And from Buffalo to Montreal to hitchhike was not the most pleasant thing in the world, although I later on had a hitchhike from Miami, Florida to Houston, Texas, which is like 4 times the length. In any case, the alternative was to send your beads to Srila Prabhupada, and he'd send you back the beads after he chanted on them with a letter about your name. So I sent my beads, but I didn't know, there was no internet, there was no automated, what do they call that? Automated intelligence with AI. What's that? Artificial intelligence. There was hardly any intelligence, artificial and otherwise. So we had no idea, because there was no newsletter, there was no tapes, there was nothing. You had to contact Srila Prabhupada, you had to call by telephone, and Prabhupada didn't answer the telephone. It was his servant, so I didn't. So I sent my beads in, and Prabhupada got my beads, and my letter asking for initiation. And Prabhupada said, well, somehow or another, this boy, he hasn't sent a letter of recommendation. He was talking to his secretary, Aravinda. So Aravinda said, well, Swamiji at that time, I just talked to him on the telephone some time ago, and he seemed like a nice boy. So Prabhupada said, so you recommend him? So Aravinda Prabhupada said, well, I don't really know him, but anyhow, he seemed like a nice boy. So Prabhupada said, if you think he's a nice boy, then I'll give him initiation. So things were a little bit more simple back then. Even I got second initiation 2 months later. And I was in New Vrindavan, and I went there with a devotee named Jagadish Prabhu, and another named Bhakta Bill and Bhaktin Areen, who later on became, some of you might know him, Bhagavan Das and Krishna Bhamati. So Purushottam was Prabhupada's secretary at that time. This is 1968 in April. And he came up to me. I mean, the whole temple was like half the size of this where we're sitting right now. And he came up to me and he said, Prabhupada, I want you to make the sacrifice for second initiation and for the initiation, because Jagadish Puru and Mother Lavanga Atik are getting second initiation, and Bhakti Bill and Bhakti Narita are getting first initiation. So I said, well, I'm not getting second initiation, they're getting second, and I gotta make the fire sacrifice. Anyhow, so I made it because I had no choice. And then after making the fire sacrifice, Srila Prabhupada sat down and Purushottam came up and he said, oh, you were also getting second initiation. So he said, oh, that's good. So the standards were quite liberal back then when Prabhupada was giving. You had we were told in 1969 that the beginning of January 69, we were told we had to study for a test. And that if we passed the test, we'd get Bhakti Shastri degree. Because Prabhupada was disappointed that his students didn't know the philosophy. So we studied for that year for the test. And when we got the test, because we had extra classes, the test was exactly, for the Bhakti Shastri exam, was the same test that they now give for if someone wants to aspire for initiation. And the first question is, who is Krishna? And if we put any Sanskrit recited any verses, then we get extra credit. So we all took the test, but no one I knew got back the answers. I guess none of us passed the test. I don't know what happened exactly, but as Indradyumna Maharaj once told me, he initiated someone in Vladivostok in Russia, and afterwards the devotee came up to him and said, Guru Maharaj, can you tell me what my name means? I don't understand who this is. So Indradyumna Maharaj said, yes, what name did I give you? And he said, Krishna Das. In any case, the whole Vedic literature is meant to declare that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yomam evam asamudo janati purushottama sasarva vit bhajante mam sarva bhavena bharata. Yomam evam asamudo. That one who understands without doubting, Yomam eva asamudo, that I, Yomam eva janati purushottama, that I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who understands me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is said to be the knower of everything, and therefore he engages himself in full devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. So if there's any break in our service to Krishna, in our consciousness of Krishna, it's because we still have some doubts, some reluctancy to accept that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Iti goyatamam shastram idam yuktva mayanaga etam bhuktva buddhimasyat kritasya bharata. That this is the most confidential part of all the Vedic knowledge, the Vedic wisdom, that anyone who knows this will become wise and his endeavors will know perfection. So we don't have to learn so many things. We just have to learn this one thing, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and that we're his eternal servant. As I said before, Brajabihari Prabhu, who most of you may know, he went to see the elderly Puri Maharaj, who is over 100 years old. And he said, Puri Maharaj, this is Brajabihari Prabhu, when he went to see him. So Puri Maharaj looked at him and said, I'm sorry. He said, I'm over 100 years old. I can't remember anyone. The only thing I remember is Krishna. So we should be so fortunate that we forget everything else except for Krishna. So then Prabhupada writes that this knowledge is coming down in disciple succession. Now, Krishna has 6 opulences: Aishvaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yashashastriyaha, Jnanam Vairagyaschayinam, Shana Bhagahi Tenganaha. That Krishna has unlimited, inconceivable, unlimited beauty, unlimited knowledge, unlimited fame, unlimited wealth, unlimited strength, and unlimited renunciation. But out of these 6 opulences, at least 5 of them are completely inconceivable to us, beyond our ability to understand, what to speak of perceive. Therefore in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Naham prakasha sarvasha yoga maya samavrita mudo yam navijananti loka yam ajam avyam. That I'm never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them I'm covered by my eternal creative potency, yoga maya, so the deluded world knows me not. I'm unborn and inexhaustible. So who are the mudhas who don't understand Krishna? So when I was thinking of this verse, I looked in the mirror and I saw at least one mudha. And why would we say that we're a mudha? Because this is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Ukramantam stitim vapi bunjana vagunanvita vimudo nana pashanti jnana chakshusha. The foolish, they cannot understand what kind of body he enjoys. Excuse me. How the living entity quits his body, or what kind of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of material nature. But those whose eyes are trained with knowledge can see all this clearly. So anyone who identifies themselves, even to the smallest degree, with their material body, they can be considered a mudha, a fool. Because they don't even know perfectly the first verse of the first instruction in the Bhagavad Gita. Denos minita dehe kamaram yovanam jara tata dahantra praptira diryas tatra namuyati. That our bodies are changing, but we, the consciousness, the person who's conscious within the body, we don't change. So how powerful is the illusory energy? We know we're eternal, but we don't realize it. We don't accept it. We don't take it seriously. Just like in the spiritual world, everyone may know, even in Goloka Vrindavan, sometimes the cowherd boys or the gopis, they joke, oh, you must be God. But no one takes it seriously. So we know we're not this body, but we don't also take it seriously. So even the first basis of actual knowledge, we don't take seriously. Vedanti tat vidas tat vagyaj avayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdite. That actual scientific knowledge is Brahman, our eternality, including the nature of the material energy, which is Krishna's eternal energy. Paramatma, the super soul within our heart, and ultimately Bhagavan and his expansions. This is actually science. Everything else is just different degrees of mental speculation. So knowledge is the only opulence that Krishna has, unlimited opulence, that we can perceive, but it's only perceived by the mercy of a representative of Krishna who's actually realized Krishna, who's actually tattva gya. Or those who are repeating the message. We can hear from those who are also following the self-realized soul, repeating the same message. because to some degree, they can also reveal the truth to us. Except for that, it's impossible to understand Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is impossible to understand anything in reality correctly without hearing from a self-realized soul, such as Srila Prabhupada, or those who follow strictly the instructions and example of a self-realized soul, such as Srila Prabhupada. Then it's revealed to us. How is it revealed to us? If we're following a self-realized soul's instructions, according to how much we're engaged, how seriously we're engaged, how enthusiastically we're engaged in Krishna's service, Didami Buddhi Yogam Tam, then Krishna will gradually give us intelligence to understand him, that he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, everyone remains mudha. Avidinanti mam mudha manushim tanum ashrityam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. The fools, they deride at my descending as a human being. They don't know my transcendental nature and my supreme dominion over all that be. So many scholars, so many persons are claiming they know so much about this science and this philosophy and that philosophy. But if they don't know how Krishna has come in the human form under his spiritual energy, all of us are fools. And the other thing that accompanies fool is rascal. And what does Krishna say? Moga Ishvara, Moga Karmano, Moga Jnana Vichetasaha, Rakshasim, Asrim Chaiva, Prakritim Mohinim Shritaha. Mogaisha means baffled. Asha means hopes, desires. So everyone is working in the material world very sincerely to find peace and happiness. As we can see nowadays, they start massive wars for peace and happiness. That I'll only be happy and peaceful when everyone else is killed except for me. Then I'll have no enemies, except for my mind. But Mogaisha Moga Karmano, their fruitive activities, everything they're doing in the material world, every single activity, every breath, every thought, Moga Jnana, all their cultivation of so-called knowledge, karma, Moga Jnana Vichetasaha, and all their hopes for liberation are all defeated. They're just wasting their time, going nowhere. On the other hand, Mahatmanas tumam partha daivim prakritim ashrityam param bhavam jananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. That those who are under this, those who are Mahatmanas tumam partha daivim prakritim ashrityam, the great souls are under the Daivi Prakriti. They're engaged in my devotional service. Mahatmanas tumam partha daivim prakritim ashritya param bhavam ajananto. They know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. And what are their activities? There are 3 different levels, as Srila Rupa Goswami explains in the Nectar of Instruction, and as Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita. There are 3 levels of knowing Krishna. Sadadam kirtayanto mam yatantas chadrida vrataha namasyantas mam bhaktya nityukta upasate. There are 3 different levels of being under the internal energy of Krishna. 3 different levels of consistency and 3 different levels of intensity. But Krishna is only fully revealed by the last intensity and consistency. Still, Sadatam Kirtayanto Mam, anyone who's chanting Hare Krishna, following the simple succession, that they're under the spiritual energy. Therefore, their activities are not the activities of an ordinary person conditioned by material nature. When they're chanting Hare Krishna, they're under the spiritual energy. They're actually instruments for Yoga Maya, for Daivi Prakriti. And if we criticize them, then we fall down. They should be respected at least within the mind. But those who advance in the chanting regularly under the direction of a spiritual master and make a vow to give up their unwanted activities and serve this spiritual master, the representative of disciple succession, with consistency and with enthusiasm, who are striving to come to that platform, who are following strictly a sadhana every day to come to that platform and engaging in service to the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, worshiping the deity in the temple and worshiping the deity by spreading the Sankirtan movement with Drita Vrata. They who are trying to give up their false ego, they're on a different level, where they're making friends with the devotees, where they're helping the innocent, where they're worshiping the Supreme Lord, and where they're defeating the atheistic persons either by ignoring them or by spreading Krishna consciousness. They should be cooperated with and made friends with and stop being envious of. And those who are engaged in unalloyed, pure devotional service, whose hearts are devoid of the propensity to criticize others, who are feeling so much love and ecstasy towards Krishna and his devotees, that are always meek and humble, that they should be worshipped and followed strictly their instructions and their example, and from them we learn how to make friends with the devotees, we learn how to respect the superiors, we learn how to make friends with the devotees and help the innocent persons, those who are less advanced than we are. We give them an opportunity to hear from the superior devotees in disciple succession by repeating their message and trying to follow their example. Then it's possible to actually, if we follow strictly the disciple succession that way, then gradually we can understand that everyone has an eternal relation with Krishna. There's no question of gaining anything in the material world, gaining material things or popularity or followers or even liberation, because everyone by nature eternally is on the same platform. We're all infinitesimal servants of Krishna, of the servants of Krishna. And any so-called gain is simply external. There's no gain by getting more followers. There's no gain by getting more wealth. There's no more gain by getting more fame, because it has nothing to do with us. Of course, if the fame is because we're spreading Krishna consciousness, that fame actually the credit goes to our spiritual master in disciple succession, because our aspiration is just become Tazvat Twami Tishri Shol Vasva Jitva Shatrum Bhukshva Rajan Sramidan Mayavata Niyatam Purvamevam Nimitra Matram Bhavasava Sachin. Nimitra Matram Bhavasava. Just become an instrument. All we're doing is trying to hear the instructions coming in disciple succession from our acharyas through Srila Prabhupada, through his representatives, trying to hear and understand the message and then become an instrument for it. Exemplify it with our words, with our body, with our thoughts. Exemplify that message. Serve that message. Then the result is that Didami Buddhi Yogam Tam, Krishna gives us the understanding, and when we go through the austerity of serving the devotees and spreading the Krishna consciousness movement and worshiping the deities and giving up our attachment to those who are against Krishna, idam tena tapaskaya nabhaktaya kadachana nachashushu shivevacham nachamam yobasiyati. We give up our attachment for those who are not devotees, who are not bhaktas, who are not engaged in tapasya, the tapasya of serving Krishna especially, who cannot control their senses, and who are envious of Krishna. We give our association up with them, then Krishna reveals himself to us. Especially, Yaidam Paramam Guyam Mad Bhakteshva Vidashati Bhakti Mai Param Kritva Mame Vaishatya Samshaya. Especially to those who have given up bad association and taken good association, taken up the mood of our acharyas to give Krishna to everyone. Every one of our acharyas, their representatives, direct associates, representatives of Lord Nityananda, who went door to door, knocking on everyone's door with Haridas Thakur, simply telling people three things: Bhaja Krishna, Bolo Krishna, Koro Krishna Shika. Chant Hare Krishna, worship Krishna, and follow his instructions. So our acharyas are direct representatives of Lord Nityananda. And those who follow our acharyas, they also represent Lord Nityananda. And by doing that, by becoming an instrument, then we can understand our relationship, beginning with servitude towards Krishna, and then later on, Tesham eva nukampartam, aham agyana jam tamaha, na shamyam yatmabhavashto, gyana dipena bhashvata. When Krishna sees that we're going through the austerity, giving up bad association, going through the austerity of spreading Krishna consciousness, seriously trying to fulfill his mission of bringing his other children back to the spiritual kingdom, then out of compassion, he reveals himself. And when Krishna reveals himself, then we understand to the portion that he reveals himself, the ecstasy that we feel, the enlightenment that we feel, then we understand what is Krishna consciousness. We become empowered to preach by preaching. We become, when Krishna sees we're trying to spread his message, then he empowers us to spread it. Otherwise, we can go on for millions of lifetimes, but if we don't have the same mood, the same mission as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's displayed through his acharyas, then we won't make any progress in Krishna consciousness. So then Prabhupada writes that what is the qualification to serve the acharyas, to serve Krishna? Yasya deve para bhaktira, yata deve para tata guru, tasyaiti prakita prakashante mahatmanaha. So, what is the qualification? Saevayam maya te idya yogo prokta pratana, bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hyetad uttama. How is this mystery about Krishna revealed to us? What are the preliminary qualifications? We have to be friendly to Krishna. Friendly to Krishna's devotees. Anusuyave. We have to try to give up our enviousness. We have to try to at least recognize when we are envious and try to give it up. Because if we can become Krishna's friend like Arjuna, then there's some possibility of serving his mission, and then Krishna will bestow devotion upon us, actual love eventually, and devotion. We'll get a taste for Krishna consciousness, we'll get a taste for giving it to others, and then real devotion will gradually awaken within ourselves, and then we can call ourselves a devotee. But in the meantime, so what should we think? We should think that we don't know Krishna. We don't even know Krishna's representatives that well. We don't even know ourselves. What do we know? As Srila Prabhupada once wrote in a letter, one devotee was asking, can I demand to see Krishna? Krishna, come here immediately. I demand to see you. If you're God, come immediately. So Prabhupada said, no, I cannot demand to see Krishna. Because if I examine myself, my qualifications to see Krishna, I realize I have no qualifications. All I have is a lot of disqualifications. But my spiritual master, he's dragging me back to the spiritual world. So that we have to understand. How by the mercy of our acharyas and disciples of succession and their representatives, we're making progress in Krishna's service. Then we can actually understand that we don't know anything. We don't know who we are. We don't know we're not this body. We don't know who we are. We don't know who anyone else is. We don't know Krishna. But Prabhupada writes in the next paragraph, at least theoretically, by the mercy of the acharyas, we've come to theoretically accept that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By their mercy, we've gotten some experience in Krishna's service. By the mercy of them and their representatives, because this movement is the manifestation of the acharyas, their mercy. And although we may be imperfect, their mercy is perfect. And when we deliver it, when we participate, then we also get their mercy, and by doing so, we give that mercy to others, just by our desire to serve the acharyas and their representatives. Just by theoretically accepting Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and applying that within our lives, then Prabhupada said that's the only way, that's the perfect way to understand Krishna. That's, Prabhupada said, that's submission. That's faith. Faith, not blind faith, but faith based on experience. Faith upon the experience of doing the things that get the mercy of the acharyas, that ultimately get Krishna's mercy, because the Krishna's mercy follows the acharya's mercy. And by doing that, we get some faith, some experience, and that will fix us in Krishna's service, eventually getting free from all our misgivings, and then nishta, ruchi, asakti, bhava, and prema. So this is the path of perfection that we're following. And we just stick to it, then our lives will become perfect in Krishna consciousness. So I'll stop there. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yes, any questions? Yes. Or as Prabhupada just said to Brahmananda Prabhu one time, he said, the only difference between you and me is that I can't fall down, but you can. Yes.
So we understand it's by the mercy of Krishna and Guru, not by our personal endeavor. So it seems like in order to really show that we're serious, and we need to learn shlokas and read the books and really drill ourselves and make an effort to go out and do service. So in one sense, it is by working or by endeavoring that one is, shows that his sincerity, or is it just by the Guru's mercy and Krishna's mercy that the revelation comes?
Well, both things have to be there. But it's not just working, it's also the mood. Trying to understand the mood of the acharya and try to follow his instructions so we can develop the mood. By following the instructions, as Krishna says, inquiries, submission, service constitute the proper combination of spiritual understanding. Unless there's service and submission, inquiries from the learned spiritual master will not be effective. One should be able to pass the test of the spiritual master, and when the spiritual master sees the genuine desire of the disciple, he automatically blesses him with genuine spiritual understanding. So it's the mood, and it's the endeavor. One should accept the spiritual master like a menial servant without false prestige.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
Thank you. How does one know that he's on the right path to become successful? Because here in Vrindavan, there's so many things going on, like so many institutions. So how does one really know for sure that he is on the right path? Because the other one will say, I'm on the right path also.
Yes. So the right path is shown by the acharya. And the acharya repeats what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. That's all he says. He's simply trying to convince people scientifically that we're eternal servants of Krishna. And we have to take shelter Paramatma within the heart and the external representatives. That's what he says. That's his message, and that's what he does. He follows the example of the previous acharyas. Well, 4. You have to find an acharya who's realized his spiritual identity, who knows that he experiences that there's no difference between Krishna and his name, who's assimilated all the knowledge of the Vedic literature, and therefore he's realized his spiritual identity. He's realized that there's no difference between Krishna and his name, and he's 24 hours a day, eternally spreading the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His every word, his every deed, his every thought is simply to spread Krishna consciousness to others. Such a person should be accepted as an acharya, and everything one has should be offered to him. So we have to find such a person. So if you can find anyone better than Srila Prabhupada, who went all around the world and established the Krishna consciousness movement, translated these books to convince people that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, established a cultural revolution to convince people that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you can find someone better than him, let me know. But in the meantime, we have Srila Prabhupada to take shelter of.
So I think the criteria is that one has to follow one of the 4 sampradayas, because others may do the same thing like what we're doing, but because they don't have connection with the sampradaya, any sampradaya, whatever they're doing is useless.
Useless? Maybe, I don't know. This useless
It's a waste of time, or what?
I-
Do they
I-
have any credits at all?
Well, if anyone chants Hare Krishna in disciple succession, he gets credit. But in this, it's complicated, because how much credit you get depends upon how close you're actually connected to the acharyas. If the energy is, just like for instance, if you have a powerhouse, and they have an outlet to the powerhouse, to the electricity company, and you plug your iPhone into the, whatever it is, you charge your phone into the outlet. But if there's no current in that outlet, you're not going to be able to charge your phone. Depends if they're actually if it's connected at all to the powerhouse. So I'm not to say exactly who's connected and who's not connected, but there are certain symptoms, as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, when he was traveling all around India, he asked people who were supposedly great devotees of Krishna, he said, "Who's your spiritual master? What disciple succession did you come in?" And they said they had none. Then he said, these people are not, they're not connected, they're not bona fide. On the other hand, is that a confirmation of what it is?
That's it.
On the other hand, just reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, that those who accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but don't accept Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the Yuga Avatar, then they don't get any credit. And those who accept Lord Chaitanya as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but don't accept Krishna as the Supreme Person, they also don't get any credit. They're known as demons according to Chaitanya Charitamrita. So it's complicated. Yes.
Because Maharaj, there is an institution that they quote Prabhupada's books, but they don't give credit to Prabhupada. But then the person who is like the quote-unquote acharya, he will teach to his students.
Yeah, so they're useless. In other words, they quote from Prabhupada, but they deny Prabhupada. So they're envious of Prabhupada. They don't give him any credit. So there are many personalities. I mean, I don't know exactly who you're referring to, but our business is to put Prabhupada within our heart, to always remember him. It's not that we're trying to remember just his teachings. We're trying to remember him, because he's the personification of the teachings. It's like reading Bhagavad Gita but not remembering Krishna. What is the value of reading Bhagavad Gita if you don't come to the conclusion, as Prabhupada writes in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, one should meditate upon Krishna. as the Supreme Personality of God, as a coward boy, holding a flute, the son of Mother Jasoda. So you read the whole Bhagavad Gita, but you don't meditate, you don't know that Krishna is, you don't meditate upon Krishna, then what is the value of it? What are you meditating on?
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the very nice class. Just in continuation with Maharaj, like Maharaj said that in Vrindavan, there are many things happening besides ISKCON.
Yeah.
So, and it is our dharma, our duty, if somebody is falling, we should guide and help that person to come back, right?
Maybe.
Anyway, I try.
We're not obliged to save everyone.
Yeah.
We're mostly obliged to save ourselves. And therefore, according to Bhagavad Gita, we don't preach to people who don't want to listen to us.
Okay. So, Maharaj, there are people who've been initiated by Srila Prabhupada disciples, and after coming here, then they stop chanting the Guru Mantra and Maha Mantra, and then they're chanting something else, and, they just, and they have all, like, I don't know. So what hope is there for them? Like, just staying in Vrindavan
Give
and
them some
leaving their Guru
prasadam.
Maharaj?
Give them some prasadam. What's hope for them? I mean, there's so many different... What's the hope for ourselves? What to speak of them?
No, at least we're trying to follow our Guru Maharaj and Prabhupada. And
Yeah, so we try the best we can. If Krishna gives us the intelligence how to help them, we should pray to Krishna, please give me the intelligence how to help them. And if Krishna gives us the intelligence, we may be able to help them. If Krishna doesn't give us the intelligence, then we should pray harder or do something, become more advanced so we can help them. Otherwise, what can we do? If Krishna doesn't give us the intelligence, we can't help ourselves. What to speak of anyone else?
Yes. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.